What is up, my diggers? I'm Grandpa Max Angor, and we're going to be playing Disco Elysium for a couple of hours, looks like. Didn't even quit the game. So let's talk to Gaston.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
You mentioned Jean-Marie Ballou. Who's that?
Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
His tone lacks its usual intensity, like he doesn't feel he has the right to speak on the matter.
So you both know her?
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Do not intervene.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
What happened to her?
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage, peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
Died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back. Will it now?
departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
A quick grimace of pain passes over René's features, but he immediately regains control. His face now a dispassionate mask again.
Why do you think she was indecisive?
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married.
Women, right?
Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers you are still there, falls silent, and turns away.
Thanks for sharing.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. Sweet, sweet, of course, officer.
Tell me, what do you know about the dead
Memories?
man?
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Come on, you must have heard something.
No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
Sounds like a bit like you're holding back.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard.
How do you know Everard?
Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
Gymnasium. I love that word.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There
Charlotte
he
6767.
stands,
I truly enjoy
proud,
your stream.
rigid and
Charlotte
alone,
6767.
like a
So please
cracking
continue creating
marble
amazing stuff.
statue.
Charlotte 6767. Keep it up.
Oh, God. Let me just... There we are. Fucking hate bots.
Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Are you a union member?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debardeurs all know me.
In many ways.
Oh, yes.
So you're not an actual
in
member.
the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your and Rene's eyes. He doesn't know anything, because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Vezavane. Turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate this socialist rabble. But even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
What are the little things you do?
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say.
What do you write for him?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspaper.
I was just wondering if I could
About
have
Martinez and how things are and how they
Yeah.
could be. Evrard and I have these long talks where
Up top. You'll have to open a new thing.
Oh.
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's why Gaston isn't
Can you
a
give me,
Union
like,
member. Everard needs a
10 of them or
neutral
so?
party to speak his ideas.
Are you a caviar socialist?
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist.
I don't
Politics
vote
is
for
not
certain
really something
parts
I
of
involve
God.
myself in, officer.
Wait, how can you write those newspaper pieces if you're not political?
Officer,
Thank
I
you.
have a vivid
I have a
imagination.
vivid imagination.
And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough.
He just fluffs it up.
Of course. Don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch.
So you are a weather vane.
I prefer highly adaptable myself. Have a better ring to hit, don't you think?
Come on, you.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Looks delicious. Can I have a bite?
I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
The only one you have.
Suddenly you realize how hungry you are. The last time you ate must have been God knows when. Aeons ago. Probably when you were still a child. The sandwich looks like a culinary wonder. Well made and abundant in components. The author sure knew their craft. In addition to the obvious slice of ham, a fat one, you notice a brim of a tomato peeking from below. And is that mayonnaise?
Don't be a dick, Gaston. There's plenty for everyone.
Believe me, officer, I wish I could help you, but I need this sandwich to keep my blood sugar stable. In my age, you need to pay attention to these things.
You can barely hear him. The sweet smell of pickles in harmony with garlic butter and marinated onions emanating from the sandwich is driving your mind in a singular direction. It must be yours. And then it hits you. The brilliant bastard has drenched the entire sandwich in honey mustard. That's incredibly decadent and delicious.
You're not hearing me, man. I need that sandwich.
Fuck off! It's mine!
A glimmer of respect flashes in Rene's eyes.
Sorry, officer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in a bad way. But the sandwich is mine. I'm not gonna share it.
And it's gone.
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets claws? We are a special kind of vermin, Gaston.
Alright, this is how we're gonna do it.
I admire your handiwork, Chef, but there's a few things I'd do differently.
Like what, officer? This is as good as they come in Revachol, I assure you.
An array of delicious recipes flashes through your mind. Salads, salmon, sandwiches. Bingo. This calls for an engineering angle. Structural rigidity, exposed rafters, lattice works, that type of approach. Lattice works, like lettuce works. I see what you did there. Don't ever do that again.
The bread you built this wonder on could have been toasted beforehand.
That would certainly have been an improvement.
Beautiful. Now bring it home with paprika.
I'll do you one better. The air pocket between cheese and ham could house pre-roasted paprika.
Ce serait délicieux! Can you make that sandwich, officer?
No problem. You just need his for research and development first. Just as a prototype, of course. Stall now and the sandwich is forever lost.
Sure, but I'm gonna need yours as a prototype first.
I hope you are not just tricking an old man out of the little he has left.
Initial development takes time, of course, but in 6 to 9 months you will eat the sandwich of gods.
Or god of sandwiches, maybe? But in the meanwhile...
The ham sandwich looks fresh and nutritious in your hand, begging to be eaten. A treat of this magnitude should not be enjoyed alone.
I cannot be bought. Throw the sandwich on the ground. Step back, everyone. It's going to get messy.
You jam your teeth into the sandwich and immediately feel a series of taste explosions go off in your mouth. It's like someone's carpet bombing your tongue with ambrosia. This is what angels must taste like. Your saliva production increases tenfold. You can barely contain it all.
Slow down. Feel the texture of the components and subtle nuances in taste.
It really is every bit as good as it looked and smelled. The different components all chip in and complement each other, forming a flavor that is unique to this particular masterpiece. The bread, as the foundation of the sandwich, is slightly moist due to the tomato juice and mayo, but holds together nicely. Almost nothing falls off the sandwich. You feel like you really got everything out of this experience.
Now let's go see Nia. And get our Die of the Apocalypse. Him don't get none of my sandwich. Fuck him. Fucking Kimball.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die? Very good. That will be 7 real. Here's the cursed die you ordered.
The phrases read, God is indifferent. Take all. Lose all. 50-50. Nothing happens. And pale.
What is this?
It's a die. Try rolling it.
You throw the ball on the floor, and it ends with one of the phrases facing upwards. God is indifferent.
Good. Now roll again, detective.
It lands on exactly the same result. God is indifferent. It declares again.
It's a sphere pretending to be a six-sided die. Each row will end with one of the phrases facing up. The die originates in Ilmara, where it was used for cleromancy. Except I've weighted the die. When you try rolling it, you realize that each time it gets you exactly the same result. God is indifferent. This is our curse.
It's even worse than she says. God is dead. We live in a forsaken age.
This is mega cool, but can I get one that actually works?
Sorry, I don't have another one ready. You were the one who asked for a curse die. Good luck, officer.
Oh, right. We should play suzerainty with Kim. Nah, we'll talk to people first. We'll do suzerainty at the end of the game, or at the end of the day, rather.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
What is in that borscht you're making there?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Mercury rising. Run your fingers through your hair.
Borscht need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself.
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Sure. Turn it up.
He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew.
Can I have some of that brew?
He smiles and nods enthusiastically, and, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you.
Do you know what's behind that door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that.
Now to be uncomfortable. By the way, we speak Revacholian in Revachol.
Speak Revacholian?
This man is a foreigner!
We speak Suren. There is no such thing as the Revacholian language. But don't worry, your message remains clear.
The cook is still smoking, ash falling from between his fingers. His hands are large and clean.
Good thing he didn't understand a word of your stupidity.
Just a moment.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up.
Howdy, Lena, what's kicking?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
A faint smile tells you she appreciates the effort. But at the moment, her mind is on more serious matters.
What else is going on? Is the RuneScape cookbook any good? Gosh.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
But you need to use the phone.
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night. But they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
A little missing persons puzzle might just be the thing to take your mind off the hangover. You hear that? Someone's missing. There could be foul play afoot.
I love missing person cases.
That's right. Now skip the foreplay. Time to dive into the dark alleys. Start shaking down the usual suspects. You know, legwork.
Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it, somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around,
Somnolent.
you're still in the whirling in rags.
Christ.
But you have more important things to worry about.
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often lead to something interesting.
What's this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
Maybe your husband went off on an adventure.
Goodness, no. Well, we did get separated once before during that monsoon in South Safre. But we were younger then, and Morel always takes the appropriate precautions.
Do it. Find him. This will surely lead to a mystery with that extremely rare insect. Yes, please. Some science fiction is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
Oh yeah.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
I've already given my word. I'm honor bound to uphold it. There we go. I've got a premonition this missing scientist is connected to our main case.
I sincerely doubt it. Still, I suppose it won't hurt to keep an eye out.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel.
The water lock is broken.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
You may not believe it, but it looks like some maniac crashed his motor carriage into it.
Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you both.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
Of course. You're a cop. You were born to do this stuff. The quest for knowledge is never over.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What's cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless. And frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
The quality of research at Revacholian universities has been on the decline, but you doubt there was ever a time when cryptozoology was embraced by the academic elite. She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, your relationship.
Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
I have to send this to Derek. This will terrify him. It's a hairless Mario. It's exactly as terrifying as it sounds.
You can't go around Revachol feeling grown men's hands. If you want to find her husband, you'll need more concrete information. It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try again. Why not you try describing him like you would one of your cryptids?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
Damn it, I forgot the fucking cases on my clipboard.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
Alright, close that. How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
How'd you meet?
Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me about this rare insect your husband's looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Now I want to hear about it.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Ah yes, Phasmatodia. A diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially.
Why'd you say it like that?
Oh yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence it's named the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciated the creature's name.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you.
There's a hint of defensiveness to her retort, but also confidence. She seems to sit up a little straighter in her chair.
It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
Makes you think it's around here.
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
Gary.
Interesting. Maybe the phasmid made the teenagers make out.
I doubt it. It's not like teenagers need much encouragement in that regard.
So a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have?
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
You seem really excited about this one.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
That's not special at all. Of course it blends in. Most insects do. You don't even have to be a stick insect for that.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
So what's so special about it?
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
I'd like to hear about your cryptids.
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
I like the sound of that.
And I don't. Just one.
Or he'll be disappointed in you. Ooh, tough choice there.
What's the biggest cryptid?
That would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
What do you mean strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
How big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Hui. No animal can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Great. This is great shit. You need more. Gravity anomaly. Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
What's the tiniest cryptid?
Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid.
But Kim, don't you want to hear about another cryptid too?
The lieutenant pauses, thoughtfully. Something in him breaks.
Ah, fuck it. Let's have more cryptids.
Well, the smallest cryptid is the Cryobacter catlensis, a unicellular bacterium. It was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Katla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
She was preparing for the end time. She wanted to witness and record the Twilight proceedings.
Mijanou did talk about the end of the world a great deal before her abrupt departure. Everyone thought the bacteria had driven her mad, but she really was a brilliant woman. Maybe the Cryobacter catlensis allowed her to see something no one else could.
What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
The Gnome of Jeroma, that sounds terrifying.
Oh, yes. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
What did it look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die.
If the body of the creature was found, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
Alas, always alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
Seems very convenient that it just disappeared and nothing like it was seen again.
I understand your skepticism, but that's what happens with things that are rare and stand out. Their disappearance is most memorable, and they are least likely to be found again.
Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
Of course. All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
Shush, kid. She's going to tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it?
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Col de Mama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Col de Mama d'Aqua can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mama d'Aqua makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
Fine, I'll bite. How can an animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Could it be here right now?
It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
Maybe it's predatory.
What if it's predatory?
It's not. Don't worry. If it were predatory, we would have found it by the damage it inflicts.
I wouldn't be so sure. What if the damage is also invisible?
What evidence is there of this animal being a sound?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 1920s, a group of Areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds. The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest-pitched bat calls.
She transforms, when speaking about these strange animals, into a confident woman.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Col de Mama d'Aqua, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Wow.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them. Sequester, Time, Joscan. Those are but some of the Mamadakwa they followed individually.
Why are they so afraid of us?
That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction. They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadakwas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
This lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at the explaining things thing. Psst. They cancel each other out. You have no clue because you're not a dweeb.
They cancel each other out.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population.
Great regret washes over her. A wending cloth.
After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Mamadakwa population anywhere.
Of course. A common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability. I like the story, though, ma'am.
I'm glad you did, dear. What about what? Of course, dear.
Jamais vu. Derealization.
I'll be right back.
Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
Hey, what are you doing in here? Where's my chippy? How's my buddy? Oh, you gonna give me a hug? Hey, good kisses? Oh. What? You want something? What do you want? Is it time to go out? Is it time to go for a walk? Is that what it is? You're gonna bug me into taking you for a fucking walk? Heat? In the heat? Really? In the heat?
Oh, Christ. You're gonna have to go bug Mom, dude.
Oh, you got itchy butt. Oh, you got itchy butt. Get you. Pick you up. Give you itchy butt. Ah. No, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up by your feet. I'll get better up. I'm gonna get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
Alright, how long can I stall him before he makes me take him somewhere? Yeah, it is 2:30. He would want me to take him somewhere at 2:30.
Let me handle this.
You seem a little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, Lieutenant. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
Yulia underscore Sura. He also wanted his cracker tax.
Ah. You're right, Lieutenant. She did seem friendlier sitting in that corner.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern and perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him. That's Titus. Talk to him, but know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. Could this be the Miss Buford that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school? How is that sign cleanup going? Huh? Fuck the police and all that? She said she would clean it.
I guess you're not a winner after all.
She shrugs. Almost no reaction. It's in there. She's just stonewalling.
This is not winner attitude, citizen. The obscene sign. You said you'd clean it.
This is about your alcoholism, isn't it? People talk. I have no patience for it, or pity.
A cheap deflection, but brutal. This did not have the effect you desired, but it did something.
Are you Lizzie?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardy.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes. In the way she stands. In her face. You caught her off guard. Push her some more.
Easy Leo told me about you. He likes to talk a lot.
You are not here to chat up the legal counsel. You are here to question these men.
You set the pace and the topic of these conversations here. Establish that. A man like Easy Leo could have said anything. Do not be restrained, sire.
He said you're the union fixer. You fix things.
I am a legal counsel. Don't make this personal.
A very minor
Yulia underscore Sura.
victory.
Has it been about an hour yet? I have your Tesosphere in my room when you're ready.
Yeah, it's been about an hour. We can stick me on stream if you want. I don't give a fuck. What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer. A legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
What about
Yulia
when I
underscore
talk
Sura.
to you?
No, just making sure we don't forget.
Okay.
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
I am the law.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it. You will not lose out on anything good by not saying it.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
I don't know where you heard that, but it's wrong. The RCM is principled and strong, unlike you socialists.
Get sober. Do your job. Ask your questions, and get the hell out of Martinez.
Photos of men in overalls, toting guns and placards. You see hawthorn bushes outside.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. The men are talking, but you swear you hear those black limbs tap on the window as the wind blows outside. You see 2, maybe 3 bushes grown into a single thicket over a period of circa 50 years. It takes time for a hedge like that to form. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside. You're not so sure about that. Somehow you just know there's something out there behind the glass.
Yeah, your mother.
It's not a very good mother joke, but the room still laughs. Something about those mother jokes just works. Nothing. Even though you know you should see it, you don't. Just branches like black tangles of hair, motionless. The wind in the yard doesn't reach the hawthorn. Maybe come back later and you can try again. It wasn't time yet. You have to know of the girl. Return when you know more.
It's a bowl. They're spitting it, reeking of tobacco.
This is where you say your bed.
He's used to giving orders and having them obeyed immediately. You should not indulge him. He and his men carry themselves like giants. You'll need to prove your mettle to be taken seriously.
Detective.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something?
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We're looking for Titus Hardy.
First, we need to talk about your attitude.
Wow. The RCM sent us some big dick cops.
Real big dick cops. Look at them. Reckless. Swinging in the wind.
Yeah, look at the big dick on that cop. Can't tell a dick that big what to do.
Must be something in the water in Jamrock.
Yeah, gave them real nice big dicks.
Yeah. Anyways.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man. In his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Wants the world to know he's a macho man. Tobacco chewing and knuckle cracking. Who else do we have here? Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Coughs a lot. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian. In his late 30s, early 40s. He spent his youth in Villa Labos, a housing project in the Jamrock quarter. There were incarcerations. Hard to say what else. The ink is fading. And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner. Standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage in You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
And the little guy?
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. Awful smell. His feet stink from all the way over there, despite having boots on. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
Where's the odd soul?
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
This person Glenn wants to hire. He really respects her. She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
I'll just utterly confuse them.
Was that? Could it be the Calder Mama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
Is it?
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must just be a regular bird. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always? There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species. Yeah, but how are you going to catch it? It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you. Keep still. It might perch on your shoulder. What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy women of childbearing age. Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets. Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
You heard it, the mysterious Calder Mama Dakwa. You're certain you did. Well, maybe not quite certain, but let's say you're hopeful, because it would make you very special to be the only human being who can hear this invisible, incorporeal bird. This animate whisper, this particle of sound. You're going to have to keep listening. Sharpen your ears. Let's talk to people. Here's a people.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
I am the law.
You sure are, my man.
Yes, people get that you are the law. You really don't have to keep saying it.
What's going on here?
It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era. You can almost taste it.
What's the jam?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days.
How long have you been here?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
I dig your style, man.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
So tell me, what do you need?
You seem like a man who knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Just be straight with him.
Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
So who do you think could be conducting the drug trade?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire. It's not a lie. It's something else. Impossible to say what at this point, but there's something in him. Some trepidation.
Tell me more about this strike.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands. No way in or out.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Maybe I should go on strike.
Maybe you should. Cops don't get paid much and the hours are long. Plus, you can get shot. Why not?
The RCM is a self-managing organization that operates on donations. We promote our own leaders. It would be like striking against your own mother.
No, your mother.
I don't think you understand how that joke goes, but do continue. You were asking about the strike?
What's the union demanding?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
What do you think they want?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
All of who?
Us lorry drivers. Camioners. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
Not you?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get on to the next one. He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior. In his eyes, an unfamiliar longing, flecks of brown and gold. It's hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes beyond the horizon. The road continues for miles, flowing together with other roads, turning into causeways or bridges, ending suddenly in dead ends, or ramping up or down highways. It forms a crisscross pattern across the land.
Where does it lead?
Above the Jamrock Quarter, in the form of a raised motorway, and then the never-ending sprawl of Forburg, high above buildings, new and old, the air filled with the rumble of motor engines. To the old south, to the farthest outskirts of Revachol, through the checkered fields of farmland, upstream to the river Esperance, past Montmartin, the border approaches.
What's beyond the border?
You cannot see. It's out of the city. Up ahead, the mist blocks all sight. A gale blows across your cheeks. It is cold. Before you stands a tall lorry driver with sad eyes.
What's in the southwest?
Excuse me?
A flinch jolts his frame. The question has touched a nerve.
I'm a cop. I can fix anything.
There are things even a cop can't fix, my man. There's no helping in absence, you know? I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, second kid on the way, waiting all the way in Diora. And here I am stuck in this shit, so far from home.
What's it like to miss someone?
What's it like? Good. And bad. An ache that brings you joy. I think of them a lot. I dream up these silly scenarios in great detail of living with them. It comforts me. What about you, cop man? You missing someone?
Is that what it is? This feeling? No, it's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricots and sorrow, and the past.
No, I feel hunted.
Hunted? By what?
By a shadowy figure known only to me as the X-something.
An ex-wife?
The pain burns in your chest, radiating. A crown of arteries on fire.
It followed me into this world when I awoke. I think it may be a planar hunter.
Planar hunter? Wow. That sounds really bad. I hope that doesn't happen to my marriage.
I'm sure nothing bad's ever going to happen to your marriage.
Yeah. In marriage, you never know if you're doing the right thing. I hope we're doing our best to keep ours together, but anything can happen. Look, man, thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone. I know it wasn't easy to ask, so I hope you find your way through your own troubles. Don't be a stranger.
A lorry stuck in...
Hello, compatriot. You have something to discuss?
You're lorryman, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
You smell of booze and cigarettes. What's different about narcotics?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
There's your in. Take his side in this particular fight.
Listen, I agree. It's our responsibility to keep this poison off the streets of Revachol, right?
Look, I'm gonna be straight with you since you're my kin. I don't know shit, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. You're a cop. I'm not an idiot.
What are you still hanging around here for? Most other cannoneers has left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking on at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on my way here. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
If they were getting drunk inside the whirling in rags, how could they know who broke into the lorry?
If you were all the whirling, how'd you know it was Kip's?
What? Aren't we allowed to say that he's a Kips who do all the stealing around here? That's not road to science, man.
It's not you who's running drugs.
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Who's that?
He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. Just follow the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you're nearby.
Yes, yes. Where is he?
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him. Just watch yourselves. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right. 100%.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say.
Guess so.
Let's call him Mariana.
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time. What did he just call you? Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
I'm not a scab, I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
Psst, show him your stolen card. Now has arrived the perfect moment.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
I'm actually a worker like you guys.
The man looks at the colorful piece of plastic, then at you, then back at the card, then at you again.
But that's not you, officer.
It's an old picture.
From back when you were not a cop, but a heavy-set, dark-skinned dock worker named Santiago Jean?
Yes.
Highly unlikely. I've known John for several years now. Also, you told me you're a cop, remember? How did you get his shift card?
Now you're in a mess. The time hath not arrived. Sorry.
Found it on the ground at the Whirling in Rags.
Oh, John's been out drinking himself blind again? He should watch his step, that John. Can I have the card?
No. It will prove useful still. Believe your thieving fingers.
No, I'm afraid the card's evidence in an ongoing investigation.
Oh. Is my friend in some sort of trouble? Who knew? Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin lands into your hand as if it has always belonged there. The swallow returns.
Appreciate it.
Always glad to help out the RCM. Shame I can't do more. Things are meager at the moment. You know, the winter's fat is slowly running out and all. Still better than scabbing, though.
Every little bit helps, you know.
I'm always glad to help out when possible. Not like these slithering scabs.
What's this strike about, anyway?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
I wonder if I can get through this game without ever talking to Everard Clare. Wouldn't that be nice? Probably not, but we can try. Alright, we gotta talk to Sealang. And I'm gonna stop pretty soon here, before we get into Hardy. Because I gotta get my injection and tire the boy out.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sealang is embroidered over
Yulia
his
underscore
breast
Sura.
pocket.
Oh, he's sleeping.
Happy shopping, officer? Everything's cool here.
Well, I still need to get my injection.
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer.
From out on the bay, a cool wind gathers. It sweeps into the city, tugging at the textiles hanging around the stand. Some distance away, the sound of a tin can clattering across the street can be heard.
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout a brewing.
Whip him out.
Don't shoot, officer! Have we got an arrest here or just a shakedown?
Even better. It's like a shakedown, but somehow legal. This is civil asset forfeiture.
Even better, it's civil asset forfeiture.
Oh! You're threatening my inviolable property rights! Good joke, officer! You're very funny, you know that?
Yeah, I'm funny. This isn't a civil forfeiture. I just want to ask some questions.
Then fire away, officer!
There we go. That's the last one I wanted. You were promised a gun. That much is certain. That's why you became a cop. And here you are, loitering around with idle hands like some sorry-ass loser from the street. Suddenly you're supposed to be solving cases like what? Talking to people? How are they going to believe that you can protect yourself and them from savages without a firearm? This ain't right. You need to think around this problem. You need to snap your fingers at people as you do.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
I'm a policeman. It's an investment in good relations with the RCM.
I hear you, officer. What kind of a sum are we talking about here?
10 real.
Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Corruption. It's just like bus or seagull. A kid watching out of a window describing things going by. He doesn't like it too much, but what do you do?
So, Lang, what's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
I'm super into drugs.
That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home, or on my person.
Sir, it appears to be true. No drugs in sight. Not in the box of sunglasses or under the speakers.
That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
But you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. I'm...
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
My sources tell me you're the one transporting drugs for the Union.
No! That's insane! It's the fat hater. He's been eyeing me for a week and he sent you here. Maybe he's the one, huh? Have you thought about that?
Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
And what crowd is that?
Crowd? You know, the drug crowd?
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. There's more here. He's afraid of this crowd, whoever they are, more than he is of the racist lorry man.
You're wasting my time. Tell me who the fuck is transporting drugs here.
Shush, please. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please, don't get me into this mess. I spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
Yeah, if you don't want to get into this mess, you have to give us a reason to move on.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her.
Ah!
The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys?
Who are these other drivers?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos?
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos.
Is the lady driver the old woman back there, dazed out, strange?
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved. I told you.
It could be. She was strange. He's not ruling her out.
Could she be associated with the Hardy Boys?
I don't know. I'm not local. I don't know anything about that. All right. I scored. Let's cap this off with a purchase.
Let's... no.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
Why? Do you know something? What is it?
Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
I asked you who's conducting the drug trade. You said you didn't know, now you're saying you do.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it.
He still is. Hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his part. Not trickery. It's true. We would of course lie. But a kind heart is tricky. Bah. Emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact.
Who is this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person, I know that much.
We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only.
I don't believe you.
You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Mind?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
The pain it was causing her.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one. The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then, acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out. Push Tommy and it will break his heart. and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals. Now is not the time to focus on feelings. You need that info, son. It's right here. The answer is right here. You just need to ask him. Come on, do it.
Let's try somebody else first.
Thank you, friend.
Let's see what our racist lorry driver says. Maybe he'll rat her out.
Hello, compatriot. You have something to discuss?
Fess up, where's the lady driver?
I don't know what you're talking about.
First you knew Sealing didn't do it.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another honest lorryman's job. You know, I don't think you're as down with our fight as you'd like me to believe, brother. Why is the saffron man still there? Talk to him. I don't know anything.
Why are you smirking?
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
So who does, the lady driver?
No. He means La Puta Madre.
A legendary, and not in a good way, crime boss from Jamrock. Controls what is probably the most powerful organized crime outfit in Revachol West. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him do this.
Yeah, him.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him. Multi-ethnic drug addicts.
The lieutenant adopts a rodentine quality. Be cool, sire. He's getting into this.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing if you were.
No, of course not. We're not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peony's job to find out who that is.
He's surprisingly good at this. Not bad at all. Look at him lurching.
It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way, protecting this fucking thief.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the Lorrymen and Carters Guild.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild protect him?
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
The lieutenant turns and gives you a barely perceptible nod. I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you to finish the job. Be careful. This man's still got some fight in him by the looks of it. Men like this only respect two things: strength and fear. Time to turn up the volume.
Show me your lorry right fucking now. The lady driver's lorry. Where is it?
Fuck you. I told you. I'm not gonna...
There. His voice grows smaller as yours.
What's your name, fuckhead? I'm gonna go on the police radio saying this guy told Madre to fuck off.
Look, fuck you, man. It's some lorry down there. Green, banged up thing. I don't fucking know who she is.
When did she go away?
I don't know. I don't even know her name. She just rolls with the fleet and acts like a big shot. Some dyke, probably. I haven't even seen her for days.
Now it's not a big deal for him anymore. This is how he saves face.
Where exactly is her lorry?
Past the monument. Down there. The Green Temple. Now leave me the fuck alone, okay?
A small temple by the monument. Green. Let's get into that lorry.
Looks like he got his adrenaline up, too.
That was fun. So when I come back from dinner, and my walks, and my shower, we will play more Disco. I have been Max Angor. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time.